Chosen one, you did not arrive here by chance. This moment found you because heaven aligned time, breath, and attention to draw you to this word. Before you pressed play, your spirit was already being summoned. This is divine appointment, not coincidence. As Scripture declares in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, "Before you were formed in the womb you were known, and today that knowing is stirring again within you." Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a supernatural shift. What you're about to hear is not merely revelation, it is activation. There is a transfer in motion, a divine reordering, a release that has been prepared in hidden places for the anointed ones who endured the silence without surrendering their faith. Heaven has not forgotten your waiting. According to Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, the vision waits for an appointed time, and that time is now pressing against your life. Anointed one, feel the weight of this moment. The same God who walked with Enoch beyond death is moving resources, favor, and authority toward you in ways that will defy logic and silence doubt. This is not only about understanding, it is about alignment. As you listen, let your heart be still, let your spirit rise, and let expectation awaken. Because what follows is not information. It is impartation. Chosen one, stay with me, because what begins here is not meant to entertain your mind, but to awaken what has been sleeping inside your spirit. There are parts of you that were never meant to remain buried forever. They were hidden for a reason, protected by time, waiting for the exact moment heaven would call them forward. If you are hearing this now, it is not random. This moment has been arranged, not early, not late, precisely on time. Chosen one. Enoch was not merely an ancient figure or a mystical story passed down through generations. He was a man who walked with God so closely that the limits of mortality could no longer confine him. When his eyes were opened beyond the age he lived in, he did not only see events, he saw people. He saw souls who would be born into a world that could not fully recognize them. He saw lives marked by depth, sensitivity, and an inner fire that could never be explained away as coincidence. He saw you. From early on, you sensed it. A quiet knowing that you did not fit neatly into the patterns around you. You learned how to function, how to adapt, how to succeed on the surface. Yet beneath it all, there was a restlessness you could not silence. You told yourself it would pass once you reached the next goal, the next season, the next level. But it never did. Because what you carry is not ambition, it is assignment. And assignments do not disappear simply because we try to ignore them. Enoch wrote of chosen ones who would feel like strangers, even among familiar faces. People who could walk through crowds, yet feel unseen. People who carried questions others never seemed to ask. That was never weakness. That was awareness, awakening before its time. I know this because I've lived it. I know what it feels like to smile outwardly while carrying an inward weight that words cannot capture to appear strong, while privately wrestling with a sense that life must mean more than survival. Chosen one. Understand this now. Heaven does not awaken destiny without provision. God does not stir purpose without also arranging supply. The same vision that marked you also protected you. There is a transfer connected to your awakening, not only spiritual insight, but tangible movement in your life. Favor, access, provision, and alignment are being released, not because you forced them, but because your heart has been prepared to carry them without losing itself. There was a season in my life when everything looked stable on the outside, yet inside I was exhausted from carrying something I did not yet understand. I asked God why the path felt heavier for me than for others. The answer came: some paths feel heavier because they carry more. Some delays exist because timing is guarding what you are not yet prepared to hold. Pressure was not punishment, it was preparation. Enoch foresaw that the chosen ones would experience tension before transfer weight, before release resistance, before recognition. That pressure you have been under was not meant to crush you. It was meant to shape you, strengthen your character, and prepare you for increase. Chosen one. As this awakening deepens, you must understand that what Enoch saw was not limited to identity alone. He saw movement, he saw timing, he saw moments when heaven would lean so close to earth that the line between spiritual and physical provision would blur. This is one of those moments. What you have been feeling lately is not confusion, and it is not pressure without purpose. It is alignment. It is the unseen rearranging itself to meet you where obedience and readiness finally intersect. There have been seasons when money felt delayed, when opportunities slipped past you at the last second, when effort did not equal reward. You questioned whether you misunderstood your calling, or whether faith was supposed to feel this heavy. But Enoch wrote of chosen ones who would be trained through lack before trusted with overflow. Not because God withholds, but because character must be able to carry what favor releases. What is coming toward you is not random increase. It is stewardship-level provision. Chosen one. Heaven is not just preparing to bless you. Heaven is preparing to position you. There is a difference. Blessing without placement leads to waste. Placement without blessing leads to burnout. But when both arrive together, life changes at its foundation. Enoch saw chosen ones stepping into doors that felt sudden to outsiders, yet were decades in the making. He saw resources released from unexpected places, assistance arriving through channels no human strategy could predict. I have seen this pattern play out in real life, moments when exhaustion was followed by access, when the last option gave way to the right connection, when surrender unlocked doors that striving never could. Often, the breakthrough did not announce itself loudly. It came quietly disguised as a conversation, an idea, a shift in direction that felt small until it wasn't. That is how divine transfer often works. It feels subtle at first, then irreversible. Chosen one. This is why distractions have increased. This is why comfort has tempted you to settle. Enoch warned that before the release, there would be invitations to compromise not dramatic sins, but quiet detours. Opportunities that look safe, but shrink your vision. Relationships that feel familiar, but drain your clarity. Voices that encourage delay under the disguise of wisdom. These are not attacks of chaos. They are strategies of delay. You are not being rushed, but you are being summoned. Heaven is asking for clarity of choice, not perfection, but commitment, not fearlessness, but obedience. As Scripture reminds us in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, when you seek first the kingdom, everything else aligns into place. Provision follows priority. Increase follows alignment. Chosen one. What is ahead will require courage, but it will also bring rest. A different kind of rest. The rest of finally walking in rhythm instead of resistance. The rest of knowing you are not chasing but receiving. The rest of seeing God move on your behalf in ways that silence old doubts. This is not the end of struggle, but it is the end of confusion. Stay attentive, because what unfolds next will explain why the waiting lasted as long as it did, and why the release could not come any sooner. Chosen one. There is a reason your spirit has felt unusually alert lately, even when your body felt tired. That alertness is not anxiety, it is awareness sharpening. Enoch saw that before the final phase of awakening, the chosen ones would experience a heightened sensitivity to truth timing and deception. You begin to notice what drains you. You recognize what aligns you. You sense when something looks good but feels wrong. This is not overthinking. This is discernment maturing. In past seasons, you may have ignored that inner signal. You reasoned your way out of it. You explained away the discomfort. You stayed longer than you should have because logic told you to endure. But something has changed. The tolerance you once had for misalignment is gone. What used to feel manageable now feels heavy. What once felt normal now feels off. That is not rebellion. That is refinement. Chosen one. Enoch wrote that the marked ones would eventually reach a point where they could no longer betray themselves to keep peace with others. This stage is uncomfortable because it forces honesty. You begin to admit that some relationships cannot go where you're being called. Some environments cannot sustain the frequency you now carry. Some patterns must end, not because they are evil, but because they are expired. I remember the moment this became clear in my own life. Nothing dramatic happened. No argument, no collapse. Just a quiet realization that staying comfortable was costing me clarity. I felt God withdraw the grace to remain where I had outgrown. What once felt neutral began to feel restrictive. That was not rejection. That was redirection. And it hurt more than I expected because growth often requires releasing what once protected you. Chosen one. This is where trust becomes essential. When God begins to reposition you, He rarely explains every step. He asks for obedience before understanding. Enoch saw chosen ones walking away from familiar ground without a full map, guided only by an inner knowing that staying would cost them more than leaving. This is where faith stops being an idea and becomes a decision. Heaven is not dismantling your life. It is reorganizing it. Some things must move out of the way so others can move into place. This includes finances. Before increase comes, clarity must come. Before overflow flows, leaks must be addressed. God does not pour new wine into old wineskins, not to punish, but to preserve. You are being prepared to hold more without losing balance. Chosen one. You may feel moments of loneliness during this phase, not because you're abandoned, but because transition is quiet. Old voices fade before new ones appear. Old structures dissolve before new ones are built. Enoch described this as a narrow passage not meant to trap you, but to align you. It is uncomfortable, but it is temporary. As Scripture reminds us in Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19, God makes a way in the wilderness and streams in the desert. Notice the wilderness comes before the stream. The clearing comes before the flow. What feels empty now is being cleared for movement. What feels silent is being tuned for direction. Chosen one, do not rush this phase. Do not run back to what God is releasing you from just because it feels familiar. What is ahead requires the version of you that is emerging now, not the one you used to be. This is not loss. This is leverage. Stay present because the next movement will reveal how everything you released is about to return to you in a transformed way, carrying provision, clarity, and purpose aligned with heaven. Chosen one. This phase marks the moment heaven begins moving what was hidden toward visibility. Enoch saw seasons when the unseen suddenly touched the practical, when faith produced evidence. What you sense now is acceleration. Things stalled before will shift quickly, not through effort, but through alignment and divine authorization. Chosen. One financial release often follows spiritual clarity. Provision responds to obedience faster than striving ever could. Enoch described resources assigned to people, not places. When identity aligns, supply follows. You are not chasing money. Money is being redirected because your purpose is being repositioned with precision by heaven itself. There will be moments when the shift feels sudden to others, yet familiar to you. You have rehearsed this in prayer and patience. I have watched doors open only after I stopped knocking in panic. Rest created access. Calm invited favor. That same pattern is forming around your life now. Chosen one, beware of misinterpreting ease as permission. Not every open door is assigned. Enoch warned that shortcuts appear before transfer. They save time, but steal alignment. I learned that saying no preserved more than saying yes ever did. Discernment now will protect what is coming soon for your future. You may notice finances responding once boundaries are honored. When leaks close, flow increases. God funds clarity. When distractions fall away, provision finds you. This is not magic, it is order. Enoch saw wealth moving through obedience, not obsession. Alignment creates channels that effort never could access: trust, stability, longevity. Chosen one stewardship is being tested before expansion. Small decisions reveal readiness for larger responsibility. How you handle rest, focus, and generosity matters now. I once delayed my own breakthrough by ignoring this truth. When I corrected alignment, provision followed without struggle. Heaven responds to maturity quickly, with favor consistently. Do not underestimate quiet obedience. It builds invisible scaffolding for visible success. Enoch described structures forming before manifestation appeared. You may feel unseen, but construction is underway. Every faithful step strengthens the foundation beneath your future. This is how sustainable blessing forms, slowly, deliberately, and with divine oversight always present. Chosen one. Patience here is active, not passive. Waiting does not mean stagnation. It means cooperation with timing. I learned that rushing delayed what surrender accelerated. Enoch saw patience rewarded suddenly. One moment, nothing moves. The next, everything aligns. You are approaching that threshold now with faith, courage, clarity, assurance. You are not behind. You are being positioned. Heaven is precise, not rushed. Financial doors open when identity stabilizes. Enoch wrote of release arriving when fear loses authority. That moment is near. You will notice peace arriving before provision. That peace is confirmation, not delay. Trust the timing fully now. Chosen one, expect movement through ordinary means, carrying extraordinary favor. Conversations shift outcomes. Ideas unlock resources. Decisions compound rapidly. This is how divine transfer hides in plain sight. Stay attentive. Gratitude sharpens perception. Humility sustains increase. What looks simple now will soon reveal how perfectly it was orchestrated by heaven. As this segment closes, remember this truth. You are not stepping into lack, but stewardship. Not chaos, but order. Not fear, but trust. Enoch saw this transition clearly. The weight lifts as clarity settles. What felt heavy becomes manageable. What felt delayed becomes decisive. The transfer has begun for you. Chosen one, now comes the stage Enoch described with the most caution and the most hope. He saw that after alignment and provision begin to move, the greatest battle shifts inward. Not against lack, but against identity. Because when increase approaches, the question is no longer can God do it, but can you receive it without shrinking or sabotaging yourself? Many anointed ones stumble here, not because blessing fails, but because old survival patterns try to resurface. You may notice thoughts saying this is too good, too much, too soon. That voice is not humility. It is memory speaking from past scarcity. I have heard it myself. Right before breakthrough, fear often disguises itself as wisdom. But Enoch warned that the chosen must learn to stand steady when favor arrives. Chosen one. This is where your inner agreement matters. Heaven releases according to capacity, not desire. Capacity is formed when your mind, spirit, and obedience align. This is why God addressed your character before your finances, why healing preceded harvest, why clarity came before currency. Increase that arrives without inner permission becomes a burden instead of a blessing. I remember the first time God opened a door that exceeded what I thought I could handle. My instinct was to hesitate, to downplay it, to question whether I deserved it. And in that moment, I realized something important. I trusted God to rescue me, but I struggled to trust Him to elevate me. That realization changed everything, because elevation requires the same faith as survival, sometimes more. Chosen one. Enoch saw that the marked would need to unlearn small thinking, not arrogance, but limitation. You're not stepping into wealth to prove worth. You're stepping into provision to fulfill assignment. When God increases you, it is rarely just for you. It is to fund obedience, generosity, impact, and legacy. This is why selfishness was removed from you early. You are being trained to carry overflow without corruption. You may feel stretched right now, not externally, but internally. Your beliefs are being upgraded. Your expectations are being challenged. Your prayers are shifting from help me survive to show me how to steward. That shift is evidence of growth. Enoch described this as crossing from preservation into purpose, from being protected to being positioned. As Scripture reminds us in Luke chapter 12, verse 48, to whom much is given, much is required. This is not pressure, it is trust. God would not prepare you this deeply if He did not intend to entrust you greatly. Responsibility follows readiness. Authority follows surrender. Chosen one, let go of the version of yourself that only knows how to endure. You are entering a season where you must also know how to receive, manage, and multiply. Grace will meet you there, but courage must lead you. Do not apologize for growth. Do not minimize favor. Do not delay obedience when opportunity appears. What Enoch saw next was stability, not chaos, not overwhelm. A grounded confidence rooted in God, not circumstances. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming more fully who you were always meant to be. And this transition is sealing now. Receive this season with courage, humility, patience, obedience, gratitude, expectancy, and unwavering trust in God alone. Chosen one. This is the stage Enoch described as integration, when what heaven releases must settle into daily life without losing its sacred weight. Breakthrough is not proven by moments, but by consistency. Many can shout in victory, few can steward it quietly. This is where maturity replaces adrenaline and wisdom becomes the guardrail of increase. Chosen one. Your life is shifting from preparation into rhythm. You are learning how to carry blessing without announcing it, authority without forcing it, and provision without fear. Enoch saw that when the chosen reached this phase, life appeared simpler on the outside, yet deeper on the inside. I remember when God began answering prayers I had carried for years. Nothing dramatic happened. No fireworks. Just steady peace, ordered days, and provision that no longer felt fragile. That is when I realized true breakthrough feels calm. Chaos often belongs to transition. Stability belongs to fulfillment. Chosen one, do not confuse quiet with stagnation. God is anchoring you. Roots grow downward before branches spread outward. Enoch described this anchoring as protection. When storms come, and they will, what you are building now will hold. You may notice that temptations change. They no longer pull you backward, but try to pull you sideways. Distraction replaces destruction. Hurry replaces fear. Comparison replaces doubt. This is subtle, and Enoch warned that many would stumble here not by sin, but by misfocus. Chosen. 1. Your assignment does not require speed, it requires faithfulness. As Scripture teaches in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3, when you commit your works to the Lord, your thoughts are established. That establishment is happening now. Your finances, relationships, and decisions are coming into agreement. You are no longer reacting, you are responding. You are no longer guessing, you are discerning. This is evidence of integration. Chosen one. The goal was never just to receive, it was to remain grounded, remain grateful, remain obedient. Enoch saw the chosen walking steadily, not impressively, and that steady walk outlasted every storm. What you are becoming now will support what you are about to carry. The foundation is set, the pace is healthy, the direction is clear. This is not an ending, but stabilization before expansion. Stay attentive, because what comes next will build upon this stability and reveal how quietly God has prepared you for lasting increase, enduring influence, and faithful stewardship that honors heaven fully. Remember this, you are allowed to enjoy what God provides without guilt, to plan without fear, and to rest without apology. Enoch saw joy returning to the chosen, not as excess, but as balance. When your spirit is aligned, enjoyment becomes worship. When your hands are faithful, rest becomes obedience. You are not being tested to prove strength, but invited to live whole. This wholeness will protect you from burnout, pride, and fear. It will keep your heart soft, your vision clear, and your obedience sincere. This is how longevity is formed in the life of the chosen, quietly, consistently, and under God's faithful guidance alone. Trust this season, honor its pace, and allow stability to mature you, because what is built now will carry you safely into expansion without fracture, confusion, or compromise later. This preparation ensures endurance, clarity, peace, and lasting fruit. Ahead. Chosen one. This phase is what Enoch described as manifestation under watchful heaven. It is the moment when what was internal becomes visible, not loudly, but undeniably. You may notice that people respond to you differently now. Doors open without persuasion. Conversations shift in your favor. Resistance fades where it once lingered. This is not coincidence. This is alignment producing evidence. Chosen. One increase has a sound, but it is not always noise. Sometimes it is peace where there used to be anxiety. Sometimes it is clarity where there used to be confusion. Sometimes it is consistency where there used to be struggle. Enoch saw that the chosen would recognize breakthrough not by spectacle, but by stability that could not be shaken. I have learned this through experience. When God finally moved me into provision, it did not feel like excitement at first. It felt like relief. Bills were paid without panic. Decisions were made without fear. Time slowed down. And I realized something important. What we call blessing often begins as quiet order. Chosen one. Your life is entering that order now. Not perfection, but rhythm. Not excess, but sufficiency that grows steadily. Enoch described this as the moment when heaven trusts the chosen with visibility. Influence expands naturally when integrity is established. You are not being promoted to impress others. You are being positioned to serve without strain. This is why humility matters now more than ever. Pride does not always look arrogant. Sometimes it looks like self-reliance, thinking you must hold everything together alone. But Enoch warned that the chosen must learn to lean even after success arrives. Dependence on God does not end when provision begins. It deepens. Chosen one. Your testimony is forming even when you are not speaking. People are watching how you carry peace, how you handle increase, how you respond when pressure returns. Because pressure always returns, just at a different level. What changes is your response. You are no longer shaken easily. You are anchored. As Scripture reminds us in Psalm chapter 127, verse 1, "Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build labor in vain." What God is building through you will stand, because it is founded on surrender, not effort alone. You may feel moments of awe when you realize how far you have come. Do not rush past those moments. Gratitude keeps your heart soft. It keeps you aware of grace. Enoch saw gratitude as a shield that protected the chosen from corruption and comparison. Chosen one. Your influence will not be loud, but it will be lasting. Your provision will not be fragile, but established. Your peace will speak louder than your words. This is the fruit of alignment. As this part closes, remember that visibility is not the goal. Faithfulness is. God is not finished. What is visible now is only the beginning of what will unfold through obedience, patience, and trust. Stay grounded, stay grateful, stay obedient. The next movement will reveal how your life becomes a signal to others who are awakening, and how what you carry begins to multiply beyond you. Chosen one. This final movement is what Enoch saw as multiplication through awakening, when the fire within you begins to illuminate others without you forcing it. You do not need to convince anyone. Your life becomes the message. People feel something around you they cannot explain. Hope rises quietly. Courage returns unexpectedly. This is not charisma, it is resonance. Chosen one. Everything you have walked through now converges here. The pressure, the pruning, the patience, the provision. None of it was wasted. Enoch saw that the chosen would eventually realize their life was never isolated. It was instructional. Others were watching without you knowing. Others were strengthened by your endurance. Your obedience created permission for someone else to believe again. I have seen this happen in my own journey. Moments when someone said, "I watched you survive that season, and it gave me strength to keep going." That is how God multiplies impact. Not through platforms first, but through presence. Not through noise, but through faith, lived consistently. Chosen one. This is where divine transfer expands beyond finances and into legacy. Resources matter, but influence multiplies them. What God places in your hands is meant to flow through your life into others. This is why your heart was refined. This is why humility was protected. Wealth without wisdom destroys, but provision carried by purpose builds generations. Enoch saw the chosen ones becoming quiet signals in the earth. Not drawing attention to themselves, but pointing others back to God. Your story will unlock conversations you never planned. Your peace will calm storms you did not cause. Your obedience will shift atmospheres without announcement. As Scripture reminds us in Matthew chapter 5, verse 16, "Let your light shine before others, so they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Notice the light points upward, not inward. This is the balance you are learning now. Chosen one, do not fear responsibility. You were prepared for it. Do not shrink when others look to you for guidance. You do not need perfect answers, only honesty and faith. God will meet you in that space. Authority grows where surrender remains. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of fruit. Seasons will continue to change. Challenges will still arise. But you are no longer questioning your place. You know who you are. You know who guides you. You know what matters. Enoch saw the chosen standing firm, not because life was easy, but because their foundation was secure. That is your inheritance now. Stability, clarity, purpose, peace that surpasses understanding. Chosen one, carry what you have received with reverence. Guard it with wisdom. Share it with compassion. Heaven trusted you because you were faithful in hidden places. Now the light flows naturally. Stand steady. Walk humbly. Give generously. And remember what God began, He will complete. Your awakening is not fading. It is multiplying. Remain watchful, grounded, and obedient. Continue listening for quiet instructions and gentle corrections. Heaven leads step by step, never wasting movement. What unfolds next will confirm everything spoken here, drawing divine connections, sustained provision, and peace that anchors you through every future season, every transition, every test, and every expansion ahead, with faith, courage, humility, patience, clarity, endurance, trust, obedience, always. Chosen one, rest in this truth. Your awakening is real and your Kairos moment is now. Heaven has released a divine transfer already in motion, and your steps are ordered. Walk forward with faith, gratitude, and courage. Stay aligned, remain faithful, and expect peace-filled manifestation. The fire is awake, and heaven walks with you in this sacred appointed